It's your boy Girl here, back another video, and today I got another video for you guys. Today we're going to be doing an updated, complete beginner's guide because this is the 4th anniversary, and I know a lot of new players have arrived towards this game called Dragon Ball Legends. So I kind of want to make an updated, complete beginner's guide because I already did one of these last year, but over the year the game has changed. It had implemented some new things and everything, so I kind of had to make an updated guide for you guys. So I think I'm gonna do like a complete beginner guide like every anniversary and stuff, because it always add like a lot of new things throughout the years and stuff. So yeah, without further ado, this is going to be a very long video. I'm going to be breaking down pretty much everything about the game, everything that you need to know about the game and all that stuff. And if you guys do have some questions, comment down below, because there's going to be a lot of information. Like, I will be breaking down so many certain like things that's about the games, a lot of new terminology and stuff that you guys are going to be definitely like confused and unfamiliar about, because you guys are going to be new to the game and stuff. But yeah, if you guys have questions, comment down below, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys also like the video as well, so we can get this video out to all the new players that's wanting to play this Dragon Ball Legends game but doesn't really understand all the stuff, the aspects of it. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, to first start off with this, let's talk about Dragon Ball Legends, like what type of game Dragon Ball Legends is. Dragon Ball Legends is a PvP gacha game. So that means there is PvP where you can actually play against people online, like in real time and everything. But it's also a gacha. Now, you guys might not understand what a gacha is, and I don't have like the full definition of it, but basically it is they have characters, right? Like for multiplayer. But the only thing different is you have to summon for them and pull the character. So think of it kind of like a loot box in a thing, like a loot box thing where you have to get lucky to pull the newest units or like the newest weapons or something like that. That kind of applies to Legends, right? You can't, like, every time they introduce a new unit to the game, you gotta summon for them for this premium currency, and you gotta hope to pull them. They have a certain drop rate and everything, which I'm going to talk about later on into this segment. But that is basically what a PvP gacha game. That's what Dragon Ball Legends is, and all that stuff. So if you're not really into those type of games where you have like a chance of pulling your favorite unit, then this game is probably not going to be for you. But I just kind of want to let you know, you guys, about that stuff. So also, I want to first talk about is energy and skip tickets. So Legends, with any other like gacha game, if you guys are familiar with gacha games, they do have events and stuff for you guys to grind certain stuff. Like, there's a lot of different events for certain things like equipment, souls, which I'm going to talk about all these stuff later on to the video. But there's so many different events and everything, and it all costs basically energy for you to run one stage of that event. Now, once you do complete all the stars on it, and you guys get all the yellow stars, you guys can use skip tickets. So that means once you complete it and get all the yellow stars on that specific event, you can skip ticket your way through instead of having to rerunning every single time. You can just skip ticket and get the rewards that way. So it's a lot easier instead of you having to rerun the stage 100 times for like an hour, while you can just do 100. I could finish like 100 right here in like one click. But you have to get everything in the challenges for that specific stage for you to be able to use your skip tickets and everything. So I definitely wanted to point that out. It does take your energy. You do have an energy tank right here that can store more energy, and it does fill up all the way to 10. So once you get 10, you have the notice on. It'll let you know that all your energy is replenished, and then you can use your energy that way and all that stuff. So I just wanted to break that down about the energies and the skip tickets. Now we're going to get to the premium currency. So excuse me, right here. So if you see the top right of my screen, says 26,879. So this is the premium currency in the game. It is called Chrono Crystals. Now, Chrono Crystals is what you get by playing like PvP, all these other game modes, grinding events, and all that stuff, and you get Chrono Crystals. Now, what you can do with Chrono Crystals is basically, like I said, the currency for you to summon on banners and everything. So what you do is you grind events, you place high in PvP and all these certain modes, you get Chrono Crystals. Then you will go to the summons button right here all the way to the bottom, and you will go to a specific banner that you wanted to summon for to get a chance of a copy of a certain unit. you need to have chrono crystals for that. So you can grind chrono crystals for free, but they only give you a decent amount per month, like a budget. But if you want to get more chrono crystals, you can also buy it from the shop and everything, and it costs real life money and stuff. So there is ways of getting it free to play, but it's only a certain amount of limit per month. And then if you want to buy more, you can buy it with real life money and stuff. So yeah, kind of want to break down the premium currency of the game, because that's chrono crystals. In order for you to get the new units, you need chrono crystals. So I just wanted to break that down, and then we can actually go and talk about the banners. Now I want to break down the banners and everything, and kind of like talk about certain different ones. So first, let's just begin with the tickets one. Now these are kind of like free ones in a sense, the ones that has a ticket instead of the one that costs chrono crystals. You guys see there, right? So these are the tickets ones. They give tickets for certain different things, and these are basically like free banners where they give you free tickets and you can just summon on them, and you know, it doesn't really cost no chrono crystals, right? Chrono crystals is the premium currency. It doesn't cost any of that. So yeah, and then you also have summable ones. You have summable ones where you guys see how there's one that says single summons, you got consecutive summons. So what a consecutive summon is if you use your 1000cc, you basically get 10 characters. They'll give you 10 characters, and it will range from certain types of character types, which I'll get into the character types in the next segment. But you'll get like these ranges of characters and all that stuff. And if you do like a single summon, you'll get 20 for the first time you use that, like a daily, and then it'll go back to 100. Then you'll use 100 for only one character. So it usually incentivizes you to use 1,000 chrono crystals instead of doing the single summons, because you get like little deals like, oh, you summon, you get, you know, guaranteed 3 sparkles, which is a type of rarity, which I'm going to talk about later in the vid, and all that stuff. Now you also have banners like called step up banners. So what a step up banner is different from like a regular banner is, like, as you go through a step, like a rotation, the incentives get better and better and better. So you start off here with 700cc, but then the next step, it'll be guaranteed extreme or higher. It's a type of rarity, which I'm going to talk about in the next segment. Then after that, it's a regular 1,000, and then after that, it's a free summon and stuff. And it kind of like, once you get to the last step, it goes back to step 1, and you rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And this is called a step up banner. This is a regular banner, you can say. This is a step up banner. Now with step up banners, they do have a pity. So say for example, the newest unit is MUI Goku. MUI Goku's the hypest LF unit right now. And say for example, you use a ton of chrono crystals. Every time you summon, you'll get basically a coin for that specific banner, right? So every time you summon, you get a coin. And say for example, you try like a ton of times to try to get MUI Goku and you still have not pulled them, you will get these coins, and they'll have a pity shop for you, and you can use the coins that you get how many times you summon to get like extra Z power, which I'm going to talk about. You can get a copy of Goku for 50 coins, which is absolutely a ton. You get the copy of the new Vegeta that came with the Goku as well. So wanted to break that down, that step up banners is the only type of banner that has a pity system. So now I want to talk about Z power list. Now you guys see here, this is the different rarities in the game for this specific banner. They have sparkings, extremes, and heroes, right? You go here, it shows you like the star stuff, which I'm going to break down in a later segment as well. And then the Z power list, it basically shows you on that banner what units that they have on that specific banner. Different banners are going to have different units on there. So you go to the Z power list, you can see what units that are on there that you want to summon for. So you have Goku, you have Super Saiyan Blue, Evolution Vegeta, Corrupted Zamasu, UI Sign Goku, Super Saiyan Vegito Blue, you have Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, you have Goku Black, God Topo, right? So different banners going to have different units on them. So that's what differentiates a banner from another banner. It depends on like who's the headlining unit for each banner. Is it a step up banner? Is it a ticket banner? Is it a regular 1000cc banner? All that stuff. So hopefully I kind of explained that pretty well. So without further ado, we are going to go to the next segment about, you know, breaking down units and their color wheels and all that stuff, and I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, so now we are back. Now this segment is gonna be really talking about just characters in general, like the different types of rarities, what I kind of hinted at the last segment, the different types of units, like, you know, there's different types of units where I'm going to break down that as well. Then we'll also be talking about like a unit's kit and everything, what makes them different from each other and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get on with this segment. So first, let's look at the colors of the game, right? Oh, actually, I kind of want to switch somebody real quick because we do not actually have a red unit here. So let's just put, for example, let's just put this, let's see. Let's put this red unit right here. Okay, yeah. So there are 5, well, there's actually more than, like, majority of the game is going to have 5 main colors, right? There's a color wheel in this game where a certain color does more damage to another color and does less damage to the other. So I'm going to break down the colors, the 5 main colors of this game for like all the summable units are purple, blue, yellow, red, and green. So think of the color wheel like a circle, right? So I'm gonna start at like the top of the circle. Red will do extra damage to yellow. Yellow will do extra damage to purple. Purple will do extra damage to green. Green will do extra damage to blue. And then blue will do extra damage to red. Now, if you do vice versa, if you do a, like just, if you, instead of going red to yellow, you do red to blue, is basically what red is weak against. So that means since red did extra damage to yellow, red will do less damage to blue. Blue will do less damage to green. Green will do less damage to purple. Purple will do less damage to yellow, and the yellow will do less damage to red. So now you guys might be asking, so what about like yellow versus blue? Like, what would that be considered? That would be considered neutral. So red will do neutral to green and purple. Yellow will do neutral to blue and green. Then what? Red, and then purple will do neutral to red and blue. And then green will do neutral to red and yellow. And then blue will do neutral to purple and yellow. So hopefully I kind of explain all that stuff, like about the weaknesses, the neutral, and then the advantage type. So that's the color wheel right there. I wish I had a picture of the color wheel so I could show you. It would be a lot more better to explain it that way. But yeah, so next is we're going to be talking about unit rarity. So there are actually now 4 types of rarities in the game. Last year it was only 3. Let's break it down. So like the least favorite ones are going to be the hero ones. These are the ones that's kind of like going to be like the filler units. You're most likely not going to rock hero units at all unless it is like Hercule, for example. We don't want to talk about Hercule, right? But heroes are kind of like the bottom of the bottom. Next are extreme units. Extreme units, there's some decent extreme units, like there's some really good ones, and then there's a lot of, you know, mediocre ones, right? Extreme ones are pretty okay, right? But the main ones are definitely Spark. Spark is like definitely one of the highest ones because they just have a lot better kits. They perform a lot better and everything like that. And then you also have certain sparkings that has like a little extra title for it, like an extra like exclusive about them, like they make them a little bit more rare. And these are called Legends Limited. You guys see here this Goku, if you look at the top, it says Legend Limited. So basically what Legend Limited are is what makes them different from a regular Sparking is that their ultimate card, if you do kill their last unit and they die, they do perform like the LF animation, like a legendary finish. So think of it like if you guys play DBZ Fighters, like the dramatic finish, it's kind of like that for Dragon Ball Legends. So say for example for this Goku, when he does his legendary finish, he will do like the whole scene where he throws the spirit bomb at Kid Buu, but he would do it against the unit that he's facing up against, so they'll kind of reenact that scene and stuff. So that what makes a LF Sparking different than a regular Sparking. And then last but not least, we have actually the newest rarity in the game called Ultras. Man, Ultras are definitely the strongest in the game. Right now we only have 2 summable Ultras as of this recording. This is just a new rarity that they introduced like 6 months ago, so they kind of slowly pushing out the new rarity and stuff. And these are definitely the strongest units in the game. Like these units are super powerful and stuff like that. Like this Kaioken Goku and then Ultra Gogeta so far are really amazing units and all that stuff. So yeah, talked about the colors, talked about the rarity. Now I also want to talk about like the types of units. So we just talked about the colors, we talked about like the rarities and stuff, but there's different types of units. But like they perform certain things when they play PvP or PvE. So you have a unit that does, for example, melee. So what melee does is they will do a lot more strike attack damage. We will talk about their kits and everything after this, but they're melee types. So that means what they do a lot more strike attacks. You also have units that does blast based, that means they do a lot of blast attacks, right? They do a lot of blast attacks compared to strike attacks. Then you have units that support, so what they do is they might not do the best damage, but they support everyone around them to maybe hit harder, or maybe give them like extra like nice abilities for them to just flow well with each other and do all those little technical type of stuff, right? And then you also have defensive units where what they do is, they tank a lot more hits and everything. They have ways of, stopping a combo and all these type of defensive mechanics and stuff like that. So those are like the four main types of characters, like melee, blast, support, and then defense. And then last but not least, let's talk about a unit's kit. So each unit are going to have different stat spreads, right? Not all units are going to be the same. They're going to have different kits, like I said, and abilities and stuff, but usually a unit will have stats. So you guys see here, this is the beginning of Vegeta. Right here, we're going to look at this yellow support Vegeta. Right here, this is his stats, his power level. Like, this is the amount of health he will have, this is the amount of strike damage he will do, his blast defense, strike defense, all this extra stuff, 3 equipment slots and everything. And these are the cards that he holds, so when you do bring him into PvP, these are the cards that he brings to your deck, basically, right? So this kind of helps in terms of team building. And then here, these are the stuff that he does. So when you have the blue card, this is like his blue card stuff that he does. There's certain blue cards, like long range blue cards, there's dash forward blue cards, and there's AoE blue cards. Same to like the green cards, there's like green cards where it's to himself. There might be an AoE green card, there might be a long range green card, there might be a counter green card. So there's different types of blues and green cards that is different from different units in the game. So certain units might have a certain type of green card and blue card that you guys need to check out. Like, this is what it performs when they use their own green or blue card. So next we have their abilities, right? This is what makes a unit different from each other. Main ability is stuff that you can only pop once a game, right? You guys see here, once the requirements, like when you play the game, it starts off with 180 timer counts. So once 20 timer counts has passed, you'll be able to pop his main ability, and this will grant him all these certain things and stuff that you guys will have to understand while you play this game. Then his Z abilities, this helps with team building, which I'm going to talk about team building in the next 2 segments, so don't worry about the Z abilities for now. But this basically kind of helps with him pairing up with other units so they can make a strong team, like a team formation, right? Next, unique abilities is basically stuff that he does throughout the game. Doesn't matter what he clicks once. Every time he enters the field, these are the abilities that he gets, that he does every single time he's on the field, like when you bring him into the field and stuff. So he has these certain abilities and everything, and he has 2 of them. He actually has 2 of them. So yeah, this is basically it with character stuff, right? I kind of explained the color wheel, kind of explained the rarity, I kind of explained the types of units, and I talk about the units like stats, main abilities, Z abilities, and unique abilities. So now we can get on to next segment. Okay, now for the next segment, we are going to be talking about character leveling, soul boosting, and Z power. I'm going to explain all this stuff for you guys as well. So when you pull a unit, the first thing, you guys see the numbers for all these units, they're at the number 5,000. When you first pull a unit, it is going to be at level 1. So in order for you to make them at maxed out, how are you going to be able to do that? There is a thing called train right here. You guys see this train button. You want to click that. Let's click yes right there. And you go here, and there's these certain little equipment, not equipment, but like resources that you can go and train them up. For certain ones, they make them train finish a lot faster. Like you guys see, these ones deal like 1 hour and 30. It makes them like finish their training level a lot faster, while some are longer, like 15 minutes. You have some that does 5 minutes and everything, right? So you guys can get these currencies from this certain event right here. I believe you go to the upgrade section, you go to like event right here, then go to the upgrade. Under the upgrade section, you can go and do bonus battle, super EXP, and you can play this event and you can get these drops. And this will also help them get to that max level. So right now of this recording, 5,000 is the max number. You can't go anything higher than 5,000 unless you're like hacking the game or something like that. But 5,000 is the max. And this is pretty much how you max out your units and stuff like that. You want them to be at 5,000 because they'll be at their peak stats and everything. So get them to 5,000, use this stage right there, and then do the training section as well to use these little items and stuff to get them to 5,000 as fast as possible, so you can use them in PvP and in PvE or story modes and stuff. So let's go back to the characters list. Next, we're going to be talking about soul boosting. Now, soul boosting is basically where, although you got a unit to 5,000, they still need to be soul boosted. So what soul boosters is kind of like extra things to have them 100% done. So for example, let's go to this foster character. Now, these are basically soul benders. Now, what you can do here is, in order for you to have their max stats, you need to have, like I said, you need to have them at max level, and you need to have their soul boost completed as well, so they can have their peak stats right here. So all this, like the stats right here, it kind of is from the soul boost. You guys see like the boost section where it has like that blue font. That's from the soul boost stuff. That's the soul boost. That's the extra stats that the soul boost is providing. And then the black is basically from the character level, like getting them to 5,000. So you kind of need both for them to be 100% complete. And there's certain, like I said, there's certain items for you to use for the soul boosting for each character. So now, what are the different types of soul boost types of items, which I'm going to talk about? So I'm gonna show you guys right here. There is these things. You go to the item, you go to souls. There are 3 different types of souls. So there's rising souls. The rising souls kind of look like these right here. Then you have super souls. The super souls look like this right here. And then you have Zenkai souls. So I'm gonna be talking about Zenkai souls in a later segment and everything. And then these are like regular, these are for different characters. These are for like free-to-play characters. But Zenkai souls, I'm gonna be talking about this in a later segment. So right now, just focus on super souls and let's focus on rising souls. So super souls and rising souls are what you're going to be needing to complete all like the soul boost items and stuff to get that unit maxed out. Now the question is where do you can find to get like the soul boost items so you can make sure you can max out those units quickly? You can go to the upgrade section, then go down here, and then these bonus battles for the different reds, yellow, purple, greens, and blues, you can go and get like the certain amount of red, like battle 1 red souls, red rising souls and super souls all in one spot. Then you have 3 and 4, then you have 5, 6, and 7. So those numbers represents the different soul boost panels that we have in the game. So for example, we go back to Fasha, we go back to the soul boost thing. She has 1, like this is soul boost 1 panel, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4, panel 5, panel 6, panel 7. So yeah, basically that's what it has all here for. So that's basically what you use the rising souls and the super souls. And then once I talk about Zenkai souls, once I talk about Zenkais, I'll bring up Zenkai souls and everything, why they're so useful, because those are only for specific units that has a Zenkai awakening, which I will go into further details in a later segment. So next, we want to talk about Z power. So this is another way for you to get your characters even stronger. And what is Z power? So Z power is basically pulling a unit more than once. So this game basically has a dupe system where, say for example, you pull 1 unit. That means that you got them at a certain star level. But if you pull that unit again when you summon on a banner, they basically increase their stats or their Z abilities and stuff. So you guys see, for example, like my Foster right now is 4 stars. But that is not the max amount of dupes that I can get this Foster to. I can get her to 14 stars. So 14 stars will look like having 7 stars. You guys see the 7 stars, but it's red instead of yellow. So that's 14 stars. It has from 0 stars to 14 stars. That is kind of like the dupe system. So you want to get a unit completely maxed out. It's the max of soul boost, 5,000 of them. And if you keep pulling that same unit over and over and over again, their max number is red 7, which is 14 stars and everything. And if you actually go to the summon section, for each for each star that you achieve, it shows you what they do for their stats. So 1 star, it goes up by 5, 2 stars goes up by 5, 3 goes up by their Z ability things, right? 4 goes by this, 5, etc, etc. And then like 7 plus means like red 7, red 6, red 5, red 4, red 3, and all that stuff. So question is there a way to get Z power for free so I can get them, like I could 14 star them for free, or not having to keep summoning chrono crystals and everything if I ran out? Yes, there's a lot of free ways of getting Z power. I do have a guide on that. Make sure you guys check the description down below. There's a lot of guides that I have for all these stuff that I'm talking about, so I'm gonna leave every single guide that I have for you guys throughout the whole video, and you guys can check the description for specific ones where I go more in details about that specific topic. So that's basically it with Z Power. We can definitely go to the next segment. We just finished talking about character leveling, soul boosting, and Z Power, and I'm gonna catch you guys there. Okay, for this next segment, we are going to be talking about team building. So I do have a more in-depth video about team building. If you guys check the description down below, there's going to be a thing that says team building guide, and it has a link to that video to be more in-depth. But basically, I'm going to give a little bit of rundown. So in this game, there are certain different teams that you can build. You don't have to, like, there's different teams that you can build. There's certain, for different characters that they fit in. Like, say, for example, like Goku, right? Goku is a Saiyan, right? So there is a team. There's a tag called Saiyans where you can rock all the Saiyans together. Like, for example, Broly, you have Vegeta, you have Bardock, you have like Gogeta, Vegeto, you have all those, what's the name character? You have all those Saiyans characters that can be ran on one tag. Now, in order for that, for you to rock them all together, they gotta have the exact same Z ability so they can all basically, you know, make each other even stronger. So if we take a look, for example, at Regen, right? We take a look at Regen. I know you guys might be asking, why is Chrono on a Regen? Because there is a Piccolo assist unit on, like, tag along to this Chrono. So that's why this or Gohan, Kid Gohan, is considered a Regen unit, because Piccolo is a part of this unit's, like, card and stuff. So, for example, we'll take a look at Kid Buu. Kid Buu, if we go to his Z ability, he buffs regeneration, tag regeneration, or tag powerful opponent, base blast attack, and defense, and then extra 15 to tag regeneration, strike attack, right? So for this Kid Buu, he provides a really, really nice Z ability for other regeneration members. So what you want to do is you want to pair him up with other regeneration characters or units that also buffs regeneration as well. So for example, this Piccolo right here, he buffs, and his Z ability, he buffs regeneration. This Piccolo right here buffs regeneration as well. This Cell right here buffs regeneration. This, what's the name? This Purple 21 buffs regeneration. And then this Kid Gohan, since he has Piccolo on him, he buffs regeneration as well. Now, there's different types of Z abilities that you can buff. You can buff like base blast attack. You can buff base blast defense, base strike attack, base strike defense, and then HP. And then there's also some other stuff that you can do, like reduce special move card cost, like pure blue card damage, pure strike damage, pure blast damage, and all that other extra stuff. But those are mainly the main ones, like the base strike, attack and defense, base blast, attack and defense, and then HP. So what you want to do is you want to have everyone with the same amount of the same Z abilities for that specific tag, so you guys can, like, have a really high ability bonus, so your units can hit harder. Because when you do play PvP, you have 6 units to choose from, but you can only bring 3 members in a PvP battle. So basically that's what it is and all that stuff. Now there is a thing called leader slot, which I really don't want to explain it too much because it might get you guys confused. So if you guys want to learn a lot more about the leader slot ability, like you guys see how Kid Gohan has on the left of him says leader, I talk more in depth about the leader slot in my team building guide video. So if you guys really want to understand that leader slot thing, but basically what it does is you can have a unit that does not actually fit that tag to be on that leader slot. So say for example, Goku is not a regeneration unit, but if I put him on that leader slot tag, he can be rocked on this team and get the Z abilities from the other regeneration members, and his Z ability will apply to them when he is brought into battle. So I go more in depth about that. Make sure you guys go check out that video and all that stuff. So next is, my example of the Regen team. I kind of taught you guys about that example with team building and stuff. Go make sure you guys watch that video for a more in-depth guide about it. But we did talk about this section. Let's move on to the next section. Okay, so now next section, it'll be pretty in-depth in some way. It is called Zenkais. So I do have a guide about Zenkais and everything that I will leave in the description down below. But basically what Zenkais are is kind of like a re-update of that character's abilities and stuff like that. So what are Zenkais? Like, how does it look? So you guys see Piccolo, right? You guys see that yellow Piccolo on the right. You guys see how it has that number 7 numerical order, numerical number looking thing where it has like the V and then like the 2 eyes, and then you guys see that little flaming border around him. That's basically what a Zenkai are. Those are a difference. Those are what separates a Zenkai from a regular, like just a regular unit, right? So how are certain characters get Zenkais? Basically, the people that develops this game choose a random unit that they want to Zenkai and rework their stats. So there is in this game called power creep, where you have old units where they just can't compete in the meta anymore because their kit are just they just lack that they can't be able to compete because it's just not enough for them to compete in the meta. So what they do is basically reawaken them to make them even stronger. Like they give them better stats, they give them better abilities and everything, so they can have the stuff required of them to fight in the meta again. So what you need to do, how do you like see which units are a Zenkai? Basically go to the filter, right, scroll all the way down, and you guys see where it says Zenkai Awakening applicable. Click on that and then click OK, and these basically shows all the units in the game that has gotten a Zenkai Awakening, even from EX units to free-to-play units and into the summable ones right here. So these right now, currently when I'm recording this video, these are all the Zenkai units in the game that the devs have picked out and say these are the units that we're going to give them a Zenkai Awakening. Now, in order for you to get the extra stuff, what makes a Zenkai unit different? So here, when you get a Zenkai unit, like I said, they increase your stats, but what makes a Zenkai different than a regular unit is they have a thing called Zenkai abilities, and they get 2 more new unique. So like I said, they make their old main abilities and their old 2 uniques better, but they also give them 2 new unique abilities, and they also give them a Zenkai ability. So part of my team building thing, I also talk about this in that video as well, but Zenkai abilities is just giving them extra more stats. Like say it's kind of similar to like a Z ability, but it's a lot more specific. You guys see here for Piccolo's regular Z ability, it's for regeneration or episode Saiyan Saga, but his Zenkai abilities gives them extra stats to regeneration units that are the element color yellow. So it will apply to him, and say for example there's another yellow region unit, like say for example yellow DKP or yellow Demon King Piccolo. Yellow Demon King Piccolo is going to get the regular Z ability from this LF Piccolo, and then he's also going to get this extra Zenkai ability because he also counts as a yellow regeneration. So this kind of like makes it where you can have a lot of different interesting team building teams and stuff, right? Where you don't do a full color wheel, you can do like a, you know, yellow blue or something like that. So that's what a Zenkai ability does. It kind of just gives them extra stats just to make them a lot more tankier. And then like I said, for for Zenkais, they do get 2 new unique abilities as well, so it kind of gives them an upper edge. And then in terms of the soul boost, how do you get these new abilities? So if you guys see here, there is, so I'll show you guys the regular soul boost panels, right? But for Zenkais, they have an extra more soul boost panels. So you guys see here, this right here, this is called Awakening Core. So what you need to do is you got to get like the required super souls and rising souls for you to get this stuff, right? For you to clear all this stuff and everything. And then you can go through these other things right here and unlock more soul boost panels for them to get their extra stats and all that stuff. And then for them to get their other 2 unique abilities at panel 3 and panel 6, you guys see right here that you can get their unique abilities. So this is their unique ability 3, and then this is their unique ability 4. So in order for you to get the Awakening Z power, so Awakening Z power is different from a regular Z power. So in order for, remember when I told you that Piccolo is Zenkai 7, is basically you got to get up to 7,000 of that unit's Awakening Z power or Zenkai Z power for you to get them to Zenkai 7. So in order for you to get them to Zenkai 7, there is one event that you have to do, and you have to complete this, and it's called a Zenkai USTR. So this is pretty difficult, not gonna lie to you, but basically when you clear this stuff, you get these certain currencies, and you can go and get these gold coins and get their awakening Z power for the units that are Zenkaiable, and get their Zenkai Z power to 7, so you get them to max and everything. So I do make a more in-depth guide about this in the description down below, called the Ultimate Zenkai, like how to awaken a unit Z power, and I go more in depth about that there. So if you really want to understand all that stuff, go check that video down below and stuff like that. So I think I kind of explained everything about the Zenkai stuff, like the Zenkai awakening power, like what you get from a Zenkai, like how, like which units are Zenkais, and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's hop into the next video. Okay, next up, we're going to be talking about equipment. So you guys see, for every one of my units on this team specifically, you guys see at the bottom where it has like those Z's and they're like looking like red rubious kind of, those are basically equipments. So in order for you to get 3 equipments, you have to make sure you soul boost all, like your character, like that specific character, to max out, because then they'll be able to carry 3 equipments instead of 1. So when you get them to like level 1, you can only hold 1 equipment. But like I said, when you soul boost them, like when you complete all their soul boost panels, you'll be able to hold more equipments for that specific character. So now what equipment does, it basically just extra things that can make your unit even stronger, like give them extra stats and stuff. So equipments, where you can get equipments are found all across the game. You can do certain events, right? Any of these events will most likely give you equipment, but these 2 in particular gives you, like, these are like kind of equipment stages for certain tags you want to work on, right? This one is a lot more specific, right, for like certain tags, like Majin Buu Saga units, like characters that fit in the Majin Buu Saga. Or you can do equipment tags where it's like, if you are LOE main, you can focus on LOE equipments there. They have some decent LOE equipments and stuff. And then there's also exchange shops where you guys can get equipments there as well. So you get equipment medals, exchange shop, you can go in there to find more equipments, like different equipments. And then there's also Z metal shops and everything. So I get more in depth with equipments and everything in my team building guide as well. So you guys can check out that vid for a more in-depth thing. But basically, you guys can get equipments and stuff, and there's certain rankings for equipment. So similar to like how there's heroes, extremes, sparkings, and ultras, there's kind of like a rarity for equipment. So here there are kind of like, let me see, there's basically 5 rarities. You guys see, you have iron, for example. Right here, this is iron. Iron is probably like one of the worst ones. Then you have bronze. Bronze is, pretty bad. Silver, silver is pretty okay. It's pretty solid. Then you have gold. Gold is, really, really good. And then you have unique plats, which is like the best plats, like the best equipments of, like, in terms of rarity and everything. So next is, you can basically, what you do for each equipment is they have 3 slots that they can give you, like, for each slot. So each slot will give you certain things, right? And in order for you to get the, like, all slot 3s for a specific equipment, you have to upgrade that equipment. So say, for example, this equipment right here, right? You guys see that right now we only have slot 1 unlocked. We did not unlock slot 2 or slot 3. So in order for us to unlock those extra slots on that equipment, we have to click on it right here, and then you can click upgrade. These are like the type of items that you need in order for you to upgrade the slot 2. So you click here, click upgrade, costs a little bit of some zenny and stuff. Then you get it to slot 2. Then you can say okay, and then you can click this again. It'll give you more, like, items that it consumes. So you can unlock the last slot right there, and then you'll finally get all 3 slots for that specific equipment and all that stuff. So just like equipments, there are equipment conditions for each equipment. So this equipment can only be used for Saiyan units, right? This equipment right here can only be used for girls, like, girls tags. Like this equipment, like, here is only for Universe Survival Saga units, where like characters like MUI Goku can use that equipment. So they have some restrictions on that as well. Next, there is called erasers. So basically what you can do with erasers is you can kind of like re-roll to have that specific slot even a higher, like give them a higher percentage. So for example here, you see how slot 2 we have a 9.25. You can kind of erase that number and roll for a higher number, so you can get to closer to like the 18 number, because that's like the max number for that slot for this specific equipment. So erasers are basically kind of like that. You can find erasers all throughout the games and stuff, from certain modes and for certain events and everything. You can re-roll it and stuff. And then there's also things like guaranteed upgrading it. And I actually break down like how to get Z's and Z plus, because those are like the highest tiers of equipment that you get, because basically you're kind of maxing out that equipment. So I have a guide on how to get Z's and Z plus, and I kind of get more in depth on stuff about equipments and everything. So yeah. Next is I want to talk about Equipment Awakening. So Equipment Awakening is kind of basically like Zenkai Awakenings for a unit, but it's for equipment. So Equipment Awakening is kind of like that. Think of Equipment Awakening like Zenkai Awakening, but it's for equipment. I actually do have a guide on how to awaken equipment. Like I said, not every equipment has the ability to have awakening. The devs choose which equipment that they want to awaken and stuff like that. So I actually have a guide on how to awaken equipments, how to get all the specific items and resources for you to equipment awaken that specific item or equipment that you want to work on. So I have a guide on that down below in the description. It's called Equipment Awakening. And now we can move on to the next things. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is missions and adventures. So basically what missions does, they're kind of like little things that you can do and complete, like sort of like quests in a sense. You basically have daily missions that you can do every single day that refreshes daily. Excuse me. And then you also have events missions. So like for certain events, they want you to complete certain things, and then if you complete those certain things, you'll get more rewards. So it could be like getting chrono crystals, it could be like getting energy, getting skip tickets, getting like all these different items and stuff that's in the game, like pretty like premium items that you can get in the game for doing certain missions and stuff like that. And then there's also a adventures thing. So it's kind of like a thing where you can kind of, in a sense, it makes you want to return back to the game. So you can set adventures. What adventures basically do is they have these things every single month where you run them for like maybe 1 hour, 3 hours, or 7 hours. And then once they're done for like that certain time period, the game will notify you like, hey, your adventures are done. And basically those adventures give you these, you know, specific currencies, right? And you can go to the exchange shop for whatever equipment or adventures that they have for that time, and then you can use those right here. Like for example, this is about anniversary drinks, so you can go to this exchange shop here, and then you can use the exchange shop to grind, like to get more rising souls, to get more zenny, erasers, energy, skip tickets, and all that good stuff right there. So I kind of broke down missions and adventures. And then last but not least, I'm going to break down all the modes in the game, and then that'll be it with this video. So catch you guys there. All right, so for basically like the last segment, we're going to be talking about the types of modes that are in this game. So one, they have a story mode, right? Story mode is basically where you can gain a lot of chrono crystals, and there's actually like an original story with a character that they introduced in Dragon Ball Legends, specifically called Shallot. Shallot is actually a Saiyan, and you can actually get him for free. And he is actually he has a, you know, unique color, because he is considered a light character. So he's not a yellow, he's not red, green, blue, or purple. He is light, and basically his advantages for all those other colors are neutral. He's neutral to every single color, but the only thing that he's advantaged is dark. So dark characters are basically for like PvE bosses or like story bosses, and he's the one that does extra damage to them, because dark character does extra damage to those 5 colors that I mentioned in the earlier segment, but they're weak against light. So there is a free-to-play character that's pretty dope that you can play throughout the story. He actually unlocks different transformations like Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, then Super Saiyan God as well. So it's really dope. It has a really nice, interesting story around it as well that you guys can, you know, watch, like, you know, read up on while you playing these stories if you want to, or you can just skip through it. But you can get a lot of chrono crystals from here. They do have a story mode, and they also have a hard difficulty as well. So you can definitely play story. You know, they update it every now and then to keep the story progressing. and that is one of the modes, story mode. So next is events. I kind of talk about events. They're basically events for certain things like getting equipment, training yourself, getting Zenny, getting Rising Souls and Super Souls, getting adventures, getting equipments. You have ones that gets like certain like premium stuff like USTR, getting the gold medals and stuff. All that stuff. There are different types of events. There are even certain events that give you free to play characters, like this one that says Let's Go Universe 7. If you play this event during, like, as of this recording, you can get three free to play units: base Goku, a tournament powered Krillin, and a tournament powered Tien, and stuff like that. So there's different types of events for certain things. Next, I want to talk about PvP. So PvP is basically like what makes the game. What makes this game unique compared to all the other gacha games is PvP. And what about this PvP, what makes it different is it's not like a turn-based where you're facing like a person, but it's not actually them in real time. You're actually facing someone in real time. If you guys watch videos of like PvP showcases and you're seeing like one of your favorite content creators playing against somebody, it's actually in real time. So PvP is definitely has like a ranking system. If you rank high, you get all these premium premium currencies like Chrono crystals, Z power, erasers, all that stuff and everything, which is pretty dope. And there's also a boost system as well, which kind of sucks. So basically, whenever they drop a new unit, certain units will get an extra boost in terms of like damage and defense. And say for example, there's like a terrible character that people don't use, they're in the Z tier, so basically they'll get more buffs for that character so they can compete better. But if there's a unit that's like everyone is using, they go to the C tier where they get no buffs because they don't need any more help. And this boost system fluctuates every single PvP system, depending on like who uses a character, like depending on like the player base, like which people plays with this character more or less, they'll put them in a certain tier, like Z, S, A, B, and C, and all that stuff. So that's basically PvP. You guys probably see a lot of PvP videos, and I also have a PvP guide on how to get better at PvP. Make sure you guys check the description down below. I have an ultimate PvP guide so you guys can learn all the advanced techniques so you guys can get some dubs while playing PvP. So next, I want to talk about co-op. Co-op is basically a PvE mode, which is like player versus environment. What you do here, like every 3 weeks, they change the co-op boss, and you can face like a different co-op boss and everything. And there's different rarities like beginners, intermediate, advanced, and extreme. So as you go up, the difficulty gets more challenging. And you also get like some extra currencies, and you can go to the co-op exchange shop to get extra items. So you get these things called dual coins. You can go to this exchange shop, go to dual coins, and get extra tickets to summon on for more sparking characters. You get Chrono crystals, Z powder, Zenkai buff. The Z power up your characters that you already pulled already. Souls like Zenkai souls, and then other stuff like energy, erasers, skip tickets, and all that stuff. So that is one of the PvE modes, co-op. Now another PvE mode that we have is called tournament power. So tournament power is pretty interesting. It's in a sense where it's like you kind of have to face against certain teams and stuff. You kind of have to build your own team, and you basically, it's kind of like a tower, like a battle stages of tower. Like it's kind of difficult for me to explain it, but basically you kind of have to bring in 6 characters and kind of survive throughout each level that you face and make it all the way up to the top and get the highest amount of points as possible. Now there's certain spots where you can heal up. So say for example, you take too much damage, you can go over here to this green spot and heal. Or if your team is not really doing that much damage, you can go to these yellow spots and all that stuff. And I don't really have a guide for this, but if you guys type in the word Azdeek, Azdeek, he is another content creator that actually has like a ongoing series about rocking like the best teams for each season, because the season changes and there's different like units that's to face, and there's actually like certain tags that are a lot better to have a higher points than others, because this also has like a ranking system. And if you rank high, you can get more Chrono crystals, more erasers, more Z power, and all that stuff. This is another PvE mode called Tournament of Power. And next, we're going to be talking, lastly but not least, is guild. Now guild is not really a mode, but it's kind of like there is a guild versus guild thing. So it's not really all that good. It's not like a Clash of Clans or stuff like that. But basically, you can join a guild. You can join any random guild, and you can be paired up with 29 other allies or teammates. And basically, what you do is, in order for you to face against other guilds, and in order for you to increase your guild points, you basically just kind of have to play the game, like, you know, playing PvP, running adventures, using your energy, all that stuff. And it's a weekly thing. You face against a guild every single week, and whoever has the highest amount of points collectively as a guild will win that. And it's also a ranking system as well. You do get like this thing called guild coins. Guild coins actually has an exchange shop, and you can use those guild coins to get stuff from the exchange shop, like Z power, skip tickets. I mean, not skip tickets. You know, tickets, erasers, zenny, energy, and then skip tickets and all that stuff. So it's basically kind of a alright mode. I feel like they could have definitely do like better. They could have had the guild thing a lot better, a lot more interactive. But that is basically it with all the modes. Hopefully you guys understand. If you guys have any more questions, comment down below. I do have all the guides for every single thing that I kind of talk about throughout this whole video. And now we can go to the last part and wrap this video up. Okay, so we are at the final, like the conclusion of this video. I don't have anything else to talk to you guys about. I kind of talked about everything about the game. I know this is a very long video, but I just wanted to let you guys know about everything in this game so you guys can understand the game entirely. Because I feel like when you make videos like a 10-minute guide on learn everything about the game, they're missing out on so much stuff. So I wanted to make this video like a very long video, but hopefully I covered basically everything in the game. And if you guys still are confused about some, comment down below so I can, be a lot more clear. Me and my community would like to help all the new players here, and hopefully you guys enjoy Dragon Ball Legends. It is a PvP gacha, so there is gonna be times where you get frustrated while summoning for a new unit and you don't pull them, or like PvP, like, there's a PvP meta, like a toxic PvP meta that we all hate. Like they drop a new busted unit like MUI Goku or the Android 17-18 tag unit and all that stuff. But and if you have any more questions, like I said, I drop as many as my guides as possible for certain things that I talked about for this video. But even if those guides don't help, then you can comment down below and ask me some questions and all that stuff, and I'll be even more clear than the guide, like the video in this video, or even in those specific guide videos or explaining videos about those specific topics. I'll be more clear even in this comment section down below. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If this video really helped you out, make sure you guys drop the sub for your boy, man. We're just trying to grow, trying to reach as many subscribers as possible and get this channel blowing up. And also like this video, bro, so we can like have this video go out to as many people as possible. So if they're stuck and they don't really understand about this game, this video will be recommended to them, so they'll find this video useful. And then share it. If you want to share it to your friends as well, if they're actually having trouble, you can share this video to your friends or social media and stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoy Dragon Ball Legends. Like I said, there is some up and downs about this game, but hopefully you guys stay in for the long run, because it is definitely a roller coaster. They definitely have some ups and downs. But like I said, if you have any more questions, comment down below. That's it with this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're up, man, and I'm out.